Good evening everybody, Matt here and welcome to my fragrance obsession. I hope you're all doing very well. Tonight I am so relaxed. I had a lovely bath just before, so I thought I would do a review on a very interesting fragrance which I've only had a little bit of experience with. I've worn it a few times and I love it. But before I actually go ahead and review this fragrance, I just want to tell you guys how I stumbled across it. Now, the other day I was in the Metro Centre, which of course is the shopping centre which I go to do most of my fragrance shopping and stuff like that. In fact, that's where the Zara store is, in case you're wondering. I was in House of Fraser, which is a department store, and I ended up going over to quite a lot of fragrance counters. I ended up going to Christian Dior, Chanel, and I stumbled across Serge Lutens. Have you noticed I'm trying to speak French? Well, trying. I mean, I'm still terrible at it, but don't laugh at me, please, guys. I'm actually trying to be very respectful when it comes to these French houses, because to me they're absolutely extraordinary, and I want to pronounce them exactly how they should be pronounced. So, at least, I mean, that's just me, but yeah, anyway. I ended up going over to the counter of Serge Lutens, and I ended up smelling a lot of their fragrances. They have so many, guys. They must have at least have about 15, 16 fragrances in these beautiful niche looking bottles. But one of the fragrances that I kept on going back to was a fragrance that I've actually got right here. Unfortunately, it is a sample, because quite frankly, I'm not going to spend 110 quid, 120 quid on a fragrance, because it's not exactly money that I have in my pocket. And the fragrance is called Chergui. Now, this fragrance was, like I said, I kept on going back to it. There was just something about it. And I'm going to be honest, guys, to me, this is one of the most mysterious fragrances that I think I've ever smelled. It's just perfect. I've been meaning to do a review on this for the last few days, because I've had it in my collection and I've been debating whether or not to do a review on it. So I thought now would be the perfect time. So this is actually quite an old fragrance, and I've just realized that a lot of Serge Lutens fragrances had actually come from the early 2000s, and I didn't know that. And this is one of the earliest creations. And it's amazing because I didn't realize how old this fragrance was. I mean, I thought it was relatively new. What I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit more about Serge Lutens as a person. Now, according to his website, which I will leave down below, I'm just going to go through a brief few facts about Serge Lutens. It says here that he was born during the war on March 14th, 1942 in Lille, in northern France. I can't help it, France. In 1967, Christian Dior, who was preparing to launch its makeup line, called upon him to actually make it. So, to me, that's just got success written all over it. If you just scroll down, there's so much useful information about it. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, Chergui is actually an island off the coast of Tunisia, and it's known for its vast deserts. So this fragrance is supposed to capture sand, it's supposed to capture wind, and, you know, the dunes. And I think it's a brilliant theme for a fragrance. We're gonna go through the notes. Shall we do it, guys? The notes in this fragrance are actually pretty complex. There is one note in the opening which I haven't actually heard of, but we are going to go through it right now. Here we go. Now, in the top notes for Chergui by Serge Lutens, we have Hey Sugar, Iris, and Rose. So I'm going to squirt some on here. Here we go. Okay, so straight off the bat, what I get with this insanely beautiful perfume is a very rich blend of iris. The iris in this fragrance is so sweet. Very, very sweet. Possibly the sweetest iris I've ever smelled. It doesn't necessarily have a makeup vibe, because usually iris does that, like, you know, Christian Dior Homme, Valentino Uomo, which is another fragrance which features the note of iris. They kind of have that lipstick makeup smell. However, in Chergui, it isn't quite like that. It's very, very sweet, very potent, and a little bit woody. And I would also say it's a little bit spicy as well. So in terms of the notes, hey sugar, I don't really know what that's supposed to smell like, but the fact that it has sugar in there, I mean, that to me could explain the sweetness that I'm getting with that iris note. Whereas I think the rose is just a little bit too dense, a little bit too transparent for me, because I do like the note of rose. But I must say the iris in this fragrance is blended to perfection. A beautiful iris note. It's so, so different from anything else I've ever smelled. So to me, this is a winner in terms of the opening. It's absolutely gorgeous, guys. Really, really something. I mean, when I was smelling all of the Serge Lutens fragrances, this was the one which just, it opened up something to me inside. It was like, wow, this house is pretty outstanding. I mean, I'm surprised nobody's really talked about this, you know, because I hear a lot of news about Creed Aventus. I mean, there is no doubt about it, Aventus is a masterpiece. But I don't want to talk about Aventus too much, because I feel like, you know, people blabber on about Aventus a little bit too much, and especially in reviews that, you know, it's not necessary, you know, to really bring up Aventus, but to me, this is just different. It's alluring, it's unique, it's beautiful, it's sweet, it's a little bit powdery, and it's gorgeous. It kind of has, as well, a little bit of a jus pomme feel to it. And what I mean about that, it kind of has that orange blossom and cinnamon sort of smell with that whole kind of bubblegum vibe that jus pomme has, you know what I mean? It kind of has that, but it's not totally like this is a completely unique blend. It just has a little bit of a characteristic to jus pomme. So don't let that bother you when I mentioned that, but if you smell it, you might actually know what I mean. Just saying. And in terms of the middle notes, we get honey, musk, incense, tobacco, and amber. So after this fragrance has been on your skin for about 2 hours, you get a lot of the musk, you get a lot of the tobacco and the amber. You pretty much get so much incense and honey in this fragrance. And I think as well, when I was talking about the sweetness in the opening, the honey does something as well to make this smell like a very nice, sweet, sort of metallic type of feel. Very much like a honey. It actually smells a little bit gourmandish, but the honey in this fragrance is beautiful, and it's the same with that incense. It's just so, so beautiful. Usually when, you know, because I'm reading this notes list off base notes, and usually when notes list, you know, put down incense, to me, that could mean anything. I mean, what kind of incense does it smell like? Is it a frankincense or whatever? No, I don't personally think it's a frankincense. To me, this smells like straight up myrrh. Because myrrh is actually a very smooth incense smell. It's also a little bit sweet. It's not smoky. So, to me, it pretty much smells like a natural myrrh extract. It's divine. Really, really nice. It's so, so nice, guys. Seriously, it's absolutely gorgeous. The honey is just divine. Absolutely divine. It's like that iris and that honey are the strongest notes in this fragrance, and when they're combined, they just create something so heavenly, so alluring, and so incredibly beautiful. And the base note for this fragrance is sandalwood. So we only get the one note in the dry down. And this fragrance on my skin has very, very good projection and longevity. I get a good 8 to 9 hours out of this. It is, of course, an eau de parfum concentration, so it may not work quite like an eau de parfum, but it does project like an eau de parfum. It doesn't have quite the longevity of it, but it does project. So the sillage is pretty good. When you spray this, like from this little sample, like when I sprayed it before on my hand, it was there like straight away. It just filled up my face. So in terms of the sillage, it's amazing. The longevity, however, is still good. I mean, 8 hours is 8 hours. So it is pretty good in that aspect. It doesn't quite have the strength of an eau de parfum, but who cares, right? This is going to give you 8 hours of a solid, beautiful, high quality juice. And guys, I cannot respect this fragrance enough. To me, this is just an amazing creation. Absolutely phenomenal smell. Phenomenal fragrance, and just in general. I just absolutely love it. It's just so, so nice. It kind of has like a rum smell to it as well. Even though I know rum isn't listed, it gives off this boozy rum smell. But so beautiful. So to me, my favorite notes in this scent, I would definitely say the iris was incredibly gorgeous. It's definitely the highlight of the opening. But the honey and the incense, the myrrh, that's what I would call it. It's, to me, definitely a myrrh, no doubt. Absolutely exquisite. It's so nice, guys. I cannot respect it enough. Like I said, it's a beautiful fragrance. So I'm going to stop blabbering and I'm going to end this review because I could talk about this fragrance all day. So yeah, guys, I really do hope you've enjoyed this review for Chergui by Serge Lutens. You're probably cringing every time I say that. I don't blame you. Anyway, but yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this review. And yeah, please let me know in the comments below if you've smelled Chergui. And let me know what you think of it. Or actually, you know what? Let me know what your favorite fragrance from the house of Serge Lutens actually is. Because I would love to know. Because to me, I just stumbled across this out of the blue and fell in love with it. So yeah, please do let me know, guys. I would very much appreciate it. Now, you guys, take care of yourselves. Keep smelling good and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye for now.